We're on the phone with Fee Waybill of the Tubes, and coming back to Penn's Peak, it's kind of like, it's awesome because we get a lot of people that are back for not only the music, but the theatrics of it all, and I don't know, Fee, you're doing it a long time. Here we go. We're old school now, but we're good.
Yeah, I know. It's getting better and better, actually. I mean, next year will be 40 years for us.
Man.
And so, yeah, it's been a long time, and but, you know, it's the most important thing is it's still a lot of fun, you know, and we can still pull it off, you know.
Yep.
It's not, we've actually gotten better, you know, now that we're a little smarter and a little older, and, you know, it's really, it's amazing. Actually, it's amazing. I mean, our drummer, Prairie Prince, is so good. It's scary.
It's awesome.
And Roger, our guitar player, is just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. He's so good.
You're doing it a long.
We've been together for like almost 45 years.
I mean, like you said, a long time. I mean, did you ever think, being born in Omaha, Nebraska, that it'd lead to this?
I never. That's true. I wasn't there long, but you know, it's kind of a wasteland. But I never did really, and you know, I never. Who knows? I mean, Roger and Prairie were my buddies, you know, in Arizona, and I wasn't a band guy. I just would go to watch them, and we, you know, Prairie got a scholarship to San Francisco Art Institute, and it kind of changed our lives. He said, "Well, I've got a scholarship. I've got to move to San Francisco," and Roger said, "Well, okay, let's go."
Yeah, that's it.
And they knew me, and they said, "You want to go to San Francisco?" And I went, "Sure."
There you are.
Yes, what the heck?
Is that where you call home now, Fee, San Francisco?
No, actually, I live in Venice Beach.
Oh, nice. Jeez, nice. So it's done well for Fee Waybill and the Tubes to be there on Venice Beach. Very nice. I'll tell you what, it gives me great pleasure, you know, to talk to you. And I've introduced you here a number of times here at the Peak when you guys get out on stage. The show's coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Don't miss it. Saturday, November 1st. Fee and the guys are back, the Tubes, November 1st right here at the Peak. But I'll tell you what, such great memories with the crazy fun music, man. And like, where does the writing aspect come about it? I mean, you know, with the music that you've laid down, and I mean, let's face it, it's and I know this, and most people know this. I mean, even featured in movies and TV screen. I mean, it's like it's crossed all boundaries.
Yeah, I you know, it just, I don't know, it just, I've been a writer for my whole life, and I you know, it just comes to me. I don't know. I mean, back years ago, you know, we would actually. It's kind of evolving. You know, I'm kind of now into writing poetry. I wrote my first book of poetry.
Nice.
That just came out in like April or May. Self-published book of poetry, and I'm working on my next one. And I'm just kind of working on descriptive writing. And I actually went to the Iowa Summer Writers Festival this last summer in Iowa City, Iowa, and
Nice.
This is kind of a very famous writer festival that they have every summer there at Iowa State University, and a lot of very famous Hemingway and John Grisham and many famous writers are from that area, and it was really cool. And you know, writing poems is a lot different than songwriting, you know, lyric-wise. But the whole, it's the same in the way that you describe, you set it up, you tell the story, you get people to visualize what you're writing, you know, and that's kind of how it started for us, because you know we wanted to do all these theatrics on stage, and we wanted to have songs that helped further that, you know, told the story of whatever, the Adam and Eve guy, or the bondage guy, or the game show host guy, or the rock star guy. And we started writing, you know, I started writing lyrics that kind of helped to develop those characters.
For sure.
And, you know, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you just, you know, like Talk to You Later or She's the Beauty, or songs like that really don't suggest any particular character. They're kind of songs, you know. But it's always, it's funny. I used to, when I was a kid, when I was in like elementary school, I used to rewrite hit popular songs, like Beatles songs and stuff. I would rewrite them. I would just, keep the same music and just rewrite the lyrics.
No kidding.
And just do goofy stuff.
That's neat. I mean, that's really cool to know on Fee Waybill's side, because I'll tell you what, I mean, what you're saying, man, I can totally relate to. It's fun. And you know what? Even back then, here you're writing poetry now, which gives a more picture to what you're doing when you're saying writing poetry. But I'll tell you what, man, you were onto something back then when you were writing crazy, fun songs like Sushi Girl and White Punks on Dope. I could be driving down the roadway, man, and throwing in my CD player, which I have with the tubes. And I mean, I can visualize what you were singing about, and I can visualize it then. Then.
Right. No, I know.
I
think the great thing about the thing that's so different about the tubes is the visual aspect.
Yep.
I mean, which has been a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
We were always known for our outrageous antics and our irreverent shows.
You're right.
Incredible.
Right. Everything, ashless chaps and everything, Fee, right? That's it.
Right.
That's right.
Which you'll be getting still. The chaps will be there. And but it kind of in some people's mind it kind of hurt us in the way that the music kind of became secondary to the dog and pony show.
Right.
And anybody who really was anybody who was really interested and went and bought the albums would see right away that the music never took a second place.
Right, I agree.
And and we even though we crossed genres constantly and really with from glam rock to punk rock, to rock and roll to R&B to all kinds of different genres, we really kind of did whatever we wanted to do, and maybe in the long run, that hurt us because we weren't just Bon Jovi, who did the same 4 or 5 songs song.
Right.
And that way there's no misunderstanding what you're trying to do.
Yep.
And we may have been all over the board, but that was the way it was. That's the way we were. We had a bunch of guys and that were we had an artist guy. I was a theater major. We had another guy who was a graphics guy. We had another guy who was a real technical kind of classically trained guy, and Beethoven guy. And so we had all of these influences, that we kind of somehow melded together to make the tubes.
Right.
And I think that's one of the things that keep us kind of, we still can go out and do that, and we can make those people happy. People who want to hear White Punks on Dope again. God knows we've played it 10,000 times, but it never gets old.
Right. No, I agree. I totally agree. I'm still playing it not only here at the radio station, but if I'm making an appearance somewhere, I'm still playing that kind of stuff because I'm digging it, man. And it's lasted the test of time. I mean, it really has, because you know what? When you play it now, it just sounds so damn good and people have fun with it. If they're dancing around with it, whatever it might be. It's just, it's timeless. You made it. I mean, in that sense of the word, from She's a Beauty to Talk to You Later to White Punks on Dope to Sushi Girl, when people hear it, they're having fun with it. So it worked. What's really interesting here, and I don't know, maybe I knew this or maybe I forgot about this though too, but I mean, you're very out there. You got more talent than when you see Fee Waybill getting on stage and dressing up, like White Punks on Dope, wearing the big high platform shoes and even just being stupid and having fun, man, with assless chaps. But smart guy, record producer, and like I said, I might have known this, but maybe I forgot about this, but you produced for a number of guys that are still out there. Bryan Adams, Richard Marx. You've done a lot of producing on that end. Jack Cassidy, Toto. I mean, you've been associated with some huge acts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of it was song co-writing, and for like with Richard, I've written lyrics for Richard for years and years, and we've been best friends for 35 years.
That's great.
And Toto and Steve Lukather used to live down the street from me, and we're still very close. And he was a writer on She's a Beauty and Talk to You Later, and and I was fortunate enough to work with David Foster, probably one of the greatest of all time, and he the first rock and roll record he ever did was the Tubes, and he had no idea what the hell he was doing.
Yeah.
He had never done a rock and roll record in his life.
Really?
And he picked us, who were and we were just completely insane at that point, and under the gun, because we'd just been released from A&M and hadn't really had a hit, and the record company was going, boy, well, you better have a hit. Well, you got one shot here to have a hit, and
wow.
don't pull it off, and you're history,
Wow.
And so I've been really lucky over the years to to be able to work with some great people, and so I'm still out. They're still out there, still out there. Steve's on tour with Ringo right now in Ringo's All-Star Band.
Oh, really?
And he's done. This is his second summer, and Richard Marx did the Ringo All-Star Band a couple of summers ago.
That's great.
And
that's great.
And I got to meet them and hang out with them and Ringo, and he's really a cool guy.
Yeah, I heard. Just shooting a breeze here for a few minutes, and then I want to just latest music, maybe latest CDs that you talk about here as we wrap it up, and even the book, if people want to get your book of poetry that you just put out. But just speaking of the guys in bands and everything, he's a great friend of our family since I'm born, and just talk to him about even Paul McCartney and Ringo. He happened to be hanging with them as well. A great friend of mine, Denny Sywell, who drummed for Paul and McCartney and Wings. Yeah,
right.
Denny Sywell, great friend of mine. Out there near you, out there in L.A. I mean, Denny's still out there. He's been out there for a long time. But we were just talking too about Ringo and no one. His direct affiliation there, but he said the same thing. What a cool guy, and you hear a lot about that, man. You guys in the business that have been doing it a long time, grounded and just having fun, man. And now it all comes full circle. I think, Fee, when you do it long enough, I think it all comes full circle.
Well, it does, and it's actually the Penn's Peak is a great place to play.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the last show of our tour. We're doing a tour, an East Coast tour of about 3 weeks.
Wow.
Leaving on Wednesday, day after tomorrow, and we're going to do about 12, 15 shows, and that's the last show. And that hall is so great. I mean, that's one of my favorite places to play. It's got a gigantic stage. I can go berserk. I can run all over. The equipment's all brand new. Every seat in the house is a good seat. It just sounds, even though it's like a giant, cow barn, it sounds great in that building.
Yep.
And we actually haven't. The last year we didn't make it. We didn't play there last year. So I think it's been a couple of years since we've been to Penn's Peak, and we have a new show. Every tour, every year or so, we try to develop a show around a kind of a theme. Last time was the La Dolce Vita Tubes, which was kind of an Italian theme, Fellini, Satyricon, La Dolce Vita kind of Marcello Mastroianni theme. And
where the hell do you come up with that stuff? Where do you come up with that, Fee?
Just because we're big fans. We're fans of movies. We're fans of other bands.
Sure.
And this tour is called the Tour Noir. It's a tour noir. It's kind of a film noir kind of theme with kind of dark and spooky and Sam Spade kind of, I do a Frank Sinatra song, and it's
fun.
kind of a Bogey and Bacall kind of theme with a trench coat and 40s hat.
That's neat.
Kind of smoky and spooky, and and I have some new costumes, some new characters, and of course we'll always figure out a way to include the hits that people want to hear.
Absolutely.
You're going to hear Bondage and White Punks and What Do You Want from Life and Beauty and Talk to You Later, and and then we have that kind of core of songs that everybody wants to hear every time, and then we kind of the peripheral songs we change, and we're doing This Town by Frank Sinatra, and Sushi is actually in the show this time. We haven't done it in a long time.
That's cool.
Girl. And Mr. Hate, haven't done Mr. Hate in a long time, and that's really, Mr. Hayden a space jacket, which is really cool. Really whack.
I don't know, man. You're taking it to the limit from sexual taboos to the religious fundamentalists. You've been laying it on the line for a long time, and people are still showing up. You're still doing it, and you made your place in rock history, man. That's for sure. Anything new? CDs coming out, and where to get Fee Waybill's book of poetry?
Well, we have a bunch of we have 3 CDs that have been remastered. The Remote Control, Completion Backward Principle, and Outside Inside have all been digitally remastered, and they each have about 4 or 5 bonus tracks that are new and never been released before.
Cool.
And you can find those at iTunes. This company called Iconoclastic Records did that, released that. So, and also we have an archive album called Mondo Birthmark that is a bunch of songs that were way lost in the archives. Songs we found before the first album was released back in '75. So those are all out there, and then I wrote this book. It's called My Whole Body Poured Out Into You. It's kind of a book of poems and a book of song lyrics that were never actually made into songs. Lyrics that were too weird or too personal, or there's cowboy songs and there's love songs and there's all kinds of weird lyrics that never actually made a record release. And that's, you can find either on Amazon or Quaalude has a website now, Quaalude.com.
Good.
He has his own website.
That's wild.
So he's selling the book and special Quaalude T-shirts that you can only get on the website. And Quaalude spelled Quaylewd.
All right.
Not like the drug.
Right.
Not like the 714 roar of drug. But so, we've been busy.
That's awesome.
I've been busy. We've been working along a lot. We actually, in January, I had a total hip replacement.
Oh, geez.
Right hip.
Get out.
And I had an arthritic hip, and it had been bothering me for a couple of years and getting more and more painful, and starting to affect my performance and just kind of mess with my life in general. So I finally got it done. I went in and got my hip replaced, and now I have a titanium hip.
Oh.
But I took 4 months off.
Yeah.
Didn't want to. I told the agent. I said, "Look, I've got to do the rehab and do it right, and I want to come back 100% before I rush back out and do a bunch of gigs." And so we took off. I took off. We didn't start until June this year doing gigs.
Wow.
And so we kind of crammed a year's worth of gigs into the last 6 months of the year. So we've been busy, and the surgery went great. I couldn't be more pleased.
It's awesome.
I'm totally 100% back. No pain.
Great.
The only pain is going through the radar machine at the airport.
You can't pass through. You're getting beeped now, Fee. You're getting beeped. You're getting beeped.
Every time they go, "What's that?" Load of titanium. Okay, well, get over here and take everything out of your pockets. Blah blah blah. I got to do the whole thing every time.
That's hilarious.
And but it's worth it because
that's great.
I'm so strong now, and I have no pain. I was buying stock in Advil at one.
Yeah, I'll bet.
So,
it's
all good. I'm all good. We're all good. Tour is going to go all year long. Has been going great. We've done a lot of casinos and festivals and all kinds of stuff.
And I'll tell you what, it's always a pleasure. And like you said, you did have that 1 year hiatus here. So Fee Waybill and the guys were talking about the Tubes coming to Penn's Peak. It's going to be a great one. Saturday, November 1st, hands down, a great party crowd, and they put on, believe me, I'm telling you right now, they put on a great show, man. And I've seen them not only here, other places they've played over the years here on the East Coast, and it's entertaining and it's a lot of fun. And all the information too that Fee's been mentioning on the website at thetubes.com is the website. Real easy, thetubes.com website. And everything from merch to videos and movies that you've been in or made cameo appearances, from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure to Xanadu, Cracking Up. They're all there. They're all there.
They're all there.
Yeah, man. It's
and we as we always do, we'll do a meet and greet after the show.
Awesome.
So if you have a record, an old record or an old CD or something that you want to get signed, or an old ticket stub or something,
that's great.
Bring it along to the gig, because we always do a meet and greet, and we'll spend another half an hour out at the merch table talking to people and signing shirts and.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys have you've always done that. You were there, and I'll tell you what, so accessible, and I don't know, just so fun to have on stage, man. I mean, it's just like I said, you have a place, man, for sure. And I'm doing this 34 years myself, so I'm around long enough to say that. And I mean, you just have it, and then you know what, you got the niche, man, and it's lasted, and that's freaking awesome. That's all I know, man. It's absolutely awesome. We'll look forward to seeing you guys on Saturday, November 1st. All the best to you, man. Really, your family, the rest of the band, and truly look forward to the return visit right here to the Peak.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it, Doc, and I'll see you there.
It sounds great, Fee, and thanks again for the